The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys.
Streaming live from Dallas Cowboys training camp
In Oxnard, California.
CeeDee Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Yeomans.
Welcome back to Talkin Cowboys live from training camp in Oxnard, California. I'm here with Patrick Walker. I'm here with Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I'm here with Christopher Beamer in the background. I'm Josh Rodriguez. Kyle Yeomans is not here. Isaiah Stanback is not here, but we will be reunited once again once we get back home. Anyways, boys, we had a game yesterday.
We did.
We had football game yesterday.
Yes.
How do we feel?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's no secret. I don't give a damn about wins and losses in the preseason, fellas. I don't give a damn.
Even a last-second
I don't
heartbreaker?
care. Even last-second heartbreaker at the hands of a two-time national champion and Stetson Bennett. I don't care. I really don't care. What I care about is the Cowboys leaving these preseason matchups completely whole and healthy. Unfortunately, they did suffer an injury yesterday, which we'll get to in a second. But I also care about evaluation. I'm evaluating these guys. And the Cowboys put a lot of players on the field yesterday that gave us a lot to evaluate. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, preseason never about wins and losses. You know, we famously remember the 1989 Cowboys. Right. They went 4-0.
And then
1-15. Okay?
It was
they
what it
thought
was.
They were winning the Super Bowl. Jimmy and Jerry's first year, they were trying to win preseason games, and no one cares. Or the winless Lions. You know, they went winless. They went 4-0 in the preseason, went 0-16. So the ultimate outcome of the game doesn't matter. It's how they play and what you see on the field, the evaluation of the players, the development of players. They're not necessarily trying to win games. They're trying to put them in situations so you can evaluate. And we got guys in situations. You got guys on the field who we hadn't seen since last season. And so that's what you're supposed to take from certainly the preseason opener. Back in the olden days, I'm old now. You know, they did have that dress rehearsal for the season. We had the starters go out there in the third preseason game and play a half, and you want to see how they look. They don't do that anymore. Just, you know, like
Not quite.
Dak hasn't played in the preseason since 2019. You know, and that's you're not going to see DeMarcus Lawrence any of the starters in the preseason. So it's really about looking at these young guys and taking kind of seeing how they develop and how they can handle these situations.
Well, before we start breaking down the game, I want to get to some Cowboys news notes and injury updates. Patrick, what do you have for us?
Well, let's first start with, because I don't believe we had a show since the Cowboys executed that trade. So by now you obviously know, ladies and gentlemen, cornerback Nashawn Wright, former third-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys, has been sent to Minnesota and the Vikings in exchange for former second-round pick Andrew Booth out of Clemson, two-time All-ACC talent. And basically you should look at that the same way you looked at last year's trade between the Dolphins and the Cowboys, Kelvin Joseph to South Florida in exchange for Noah Igbenogany. That was more so a special teams thing. This is the same with the addition of Booth will have a chance to compete behind Jordan Lewis with guys like Eric Scott, Josh Butler, Keemon Hall for that nickel role. But it also tells me that they are big on what they're seeing with Kalen Carson on that outside boundary protection here in camp, and they should be because he is excelling. Injury news, Cowboys came out mostly whole, as I stated at the top of the show, but they did suffer one injury that we are aware of right now. Chuma Edoga, he started the game against the Rams in the preseason opener. He left the stadium in a boot. I'm being told that it's the big toe on his left foot. TBD on if he's going to be available for the next preseason game or when he'll be available back in practice. So, of course, that thrusts rookie first-round pick Tyler Guyton to the front of that line, and he looked sensational in only 21 snaps yesterday.
I'm glad I was worried about you pronouncing Noah's name, so I'm glad you
Igbenogany.
I'm glad you
Igbenogany.
I
got you.
I got that. I got Noah's name right.
Yeah.
It took a lot of practice, but we got it.
We got that media guy that has the pronunciation.
There you go. That trade was about trading somebody, one disappointment for another disappointment, just like last year. Somebody's trash for somebody else's trash. With all due respect, That's what
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
Somebody's trash.
That's what it was last year. Neither one of those guys on the team they were traded for. Bland is not with the Dolphins. I mean, I'm just saying they're not Bland.
With all due respect, insert disrespectful statement here. But no.
But that's I mean, it's disappointment. Okay.
Yeah,
bust.
disappointment.
Draft bust.
Disappointment.
However you want to call it, they did not live up to expectations with their current team, and so they're trying to see. But the guy that the Cowboys got back was a higher pick. And so, you want to see.
Just like last time.
And he's a higher pick, and you want to see what he has. He has, another year on his contract. Regarding the injury, Chuma just can't stay healthy. And he has not been healthy since he's been here.
Yep.
But let's be honest. Stop the charade. The charade should have been stopped.
Go ahead.
Stop the
Go
charade.
off. Go off.
Pull the curtain
the
back.
Band-Aid off
Come
and
on.
put the young guy out there. It should have been done, okay? Can I say that should have been done?
Should have been done?
Should have been done.
Tyler Guyton should be your starting left
I mean,
tackle.
come on, we know he
Let
was
it be
going to be the
known.
starter.
You got to earn the star, man. You got
That's just stupid. I mean, I just don't understand why they do that sometimes, especially with the first round pick. Put the dude out there. We didn't do that with Michael Parsons.
Well, we're not doing that
We
with
didn't do
Cooper
that
Beebe,
Michael
though.
Parsons.
Not doing that with Cooper
Well, he's
Beebe.
a third round pick. And
You're
so
saying
he's changing
first round pick.
positions. That's two different things. He still has to learn how to snap. But you drafted this guy in the first round to replace Tyron Smith as your left tackle. Put him out there. Let him get some chemistry and all that stuff with Tyler Smith. Stop with the charades. I hate when coaches do that. Stop the charades. Put
And
him
not
out there.
to compare the players,
When
but
Zeke was a rookie, they didn't do that.
well, did they do that to Tyron Smith?
No.
He was automatically
Yes.
starting left
yes.
tackle.
I mean, it's a long time ago. Yes.
He's
Put the
not
dude
wrong.
out there.
Listen, I
He's
just
not
wanted
wrong.
I wanted to be clear because I'm all about receipts. If you go back to, I want to say May, June, one of those episodes on the Junior Varsity show, Cowboys Break, I actually said that, and it's on there. It's on video. I said that before it's all said and done, I believe Tyler Guyton would be the starting left tackle for the Cowboys week 1. Now, of course,
Before it's all said and done.
Before it's all said and done. Hold on.
It was done on draft day. It was said and done on draft day.
I agree, Chill.
Okay.
I agree. That being said, I also
don't have to couch it.
I also know that the Cowboys and offensive line coach Mike Solari, their old school ball coaches, they did want him to earn the star. My point being, there are a lot of Cowboys fans who are asking the question.
He's earning it right here.
There's a lot of Cowboys fans who are asking the question, will he be ready, Tyler Guyton, as far as the transition to left tackle? That was the bigger question. Not necessarily would he be, but would he be ready for that role? And my answer was yes back in June, and now here we are in August having the conversation. How you feel?
The problem here is that it's not about him earning the star. What has Chuma done to earn the star? What has Chuma done to earn the starting role?
I'm not saying I agree.
But that's the problem.
I'm just saying it's the tradition.
That's the problem with
That's
the mindset. He needs to earn it. What has Chuma done to earn it?
I'm just saying it's the tradition. I didn't say I agree with the tradition.
Yeah, so it'd be different with a veteran star. I'm not like
I don't like cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving.
It'd be different with a veteran
but it'll be there every Thanksgiving.
But Chuma's done nothing. He's never been a starter. Never been a starter on this team. He does not have. Why does he have old school credit? He don't get no old school credit.
Old school ball coach will likely always give the nod going into a camp to a veteran, and that's basically what you're looking at with that dynamic. But even without Chuma battling health issues, I was of the full belief that Tyler Guyton would transition quickly to left tackle or back to left tackle, because it's not as if he hasn't played that before.
Right.
Back to left tackle, and he's done that, and kudos to that young man, because this summer was spent working with our good friend Duke Manyweather and OL Masterminds back in Frisco. It was working every day, getting it done. He didn't take time off. He didn't go on a vacation to celebrate making it to the team that he's been a lifelong fan of. He was working, and it's showing out. It's showing up out here in camp, and it showed up in his limited reps against the Rams.
As it should. And let's go back. I mean, that's why we put so much attention on first-round picks when they don't play. Okay?
Absolutely.
Give them every chance to play. Because we go back to Bobby Carpenter. He didn't start.
There's a name.
I'm just saying, when they don't play,
that's an indicative.
That's an indication that
yeah.
you come, well, this guy's earned whatever. If he ain't earned it and you don't put him out to play, give him every chance to be successful, a guy you invested in the first round pick in, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
That's why Mozzie's under the microscope this year. That's why Taco Charlton got so much attention.
You brought up the taco.
I'm just saying, when Orlando Scandrick started in front of the first round pick, that was a problem back in 07, whenever that was. Your first round pick is supposed to come out and play.
Absolutely.
Give him a chance to play.
Talk that
Well,
talk.
we saw him yesterday. We saw him yesterday take some limited snaps. What did we see out of Tyler Guyton's snaps? Limited snaps.
You know what? For a guy that missed the previous several practices with an illness, for a guy that wasn't 100% healthy from that illness when taking the field yesterday, and to see him escorting gentlemen out of the club on certain plays. One play in particular, Cowboys' second drive, 3rd and 10. Trey Lance gets sprung off to the left side, 19-yard gain, 3rd down conversion. Go back and look at that play and watch Tyler Guyton absolutely walk his guy 5 yards in the other direction to clear that lane. This is a guy that didn't feel well yesterday and didn't practice several practices before. And if that's what you're going to get from this young man at 80% capacity when he's fully healthy, which he will be here soon, imagine what that looks like.
Yeah, he was on a pitch count. Missed a few days in practice because of illness. They held him out of scrimmage, and certainly his conditioning was an issue. But when he was on the field, he was lights out. He did not have a bad rep.
He did not.
Did not have a bad
single
rep.
bad rep. 21 reps, and each one of those were positive reps.
Now, looking on the other side of things, well, just down the line, basically, Cooper Beebe had some snaps as well at the backup center position. How did we feel about Cooper Beebe, and are the expectations kind of coming down a little bit for Cooper Beebe?
I don't think the expectations are coming down. I think he's trending in the right direction. If you look at his snaps yesterday, and for those of us that have been in camp from day one, compare what his snaps looked like day one in training camp versus what they looked like on yesterday. He's getting more comfortable. Is he as comfortable as Brock Hoffman there making those snaps? Not quite yet, which is why Brock Hoffman is still the starter as we have this conversation. But is Cooper Beebe making strides in that category? Absolutely he is. And one thing he doesn't necessarily need to make strides in is being able to block and hold anchor and stay in front of guys. That looked fantastic yesterday. So still working on the snaps, but the blocking is there.
Well, that's just it. I mean, Brock Hoffman and the Cowboys know what he is.
Yeah.
And he is what he is.
Yep.
Right.
And he's certainly ahead of Cooper now because Cooper's basically transited to a new position. But as Stephen Jones told me last week, the Cowboys know last week, and as you've seen throughout the cap, Cooper's rising.
Yep.
Okay? Guyton's going to be, not Guyton, but Hoffman's going to be here. Cooper's rising. And will he catch him by the time the season starts? Will he catch him by the third game of the season? We'll see. But
Right.
Cooper's rising. The upside is there, and that's why you drafted him in the 3rd round, because of that upside. You knew from day one he was not going to be, a finished product as a center for the first time. Snapping with your mama is different than snapping,
First of
out
all,
here on the field.
shouts out to Mama Beebe. We're not gonna pretend Mama Beebe can't take a shotgun snap. She's proven
She
that
can,
she can.
but it's
She's
not
proven
about
that she
her.
can.
It's about what's in front of you.
Right.
Okay, snaps with big uglies, as they say, breathing down your neck,
Right.
in the heat of a game. It's different snapping in the backyard where ain't nobody
True
rushing.
story. What
you worked on, so that's good.
Yeah.
It was great video, but it's not
Yeah.
the same. And we've seen that out here. So he's had problems with
Yeah.
some of the snaps and stuff because of that. But it's about getting comfortable.
Absolutely.
And I'll also add to this. Keep in mind, and I've said this before, I'll keep saying it, Cooper Beebe was a gift. He was a gift. The Cowboys were able to flip their late
landed
first
in your
round
lap,
pick.
for
Right.
sure.
Were able to flip that late first round pick. You got Tyler Guyton and you got Cooper Beebe out of that deal. So kind of to what Clarence is saying, as far as the pressure that's on a guy like Tyler Guyton, first round pick, it's not necessarily on Cooper Beebe. Number one, he's a 3rd round pick. Number two, he was acquired in a trade, so he's that added pick, right? So there's a little bit of time. There's some grace there as far as the first several weeks, maybe even the first full season for Cooper Beebe. But he's trending in the right direction, like Clarence said. The coaches agree. The eye test, he's passing it as far as that trajectory. He just needs to continue to work on it.
And what's also true is this. The Cowboys are comfortable playing with Hoffman at center.
Mm-hmm.
They're not comfortable playing with Odoga at center. Let's be honest about it. That's not going to be one. Now, Hoffman is not, obviously he's never going to be a Pro Bowler. He's not that type of center, but he's solid enough to play with.
Right.
You're not going to be playing with Chuma Odoga at center protecting Dak Prescott's blind side.
I think as long as you're improving over the center play of last season and the season before that, I think you're trending in the right direction.
Over the center play in the first year. I mean, I don't know if you're going to get that. The long-term potential is there, but to say that you're going to be better than Tyler Biadasz immediately, I don't know that Hoffman is better. I don't know that Cooper Beebe will be better as a rookie, but potentially over his career, I think Cooper Beebe has a bigger upside for sure. That's what the Cowboys are banking on.
Well, right now, and if you look back to the transition from Connor Williams / Connor McGovern to Tyler Biadasz, and now the transition from Tyler Biadasz to whomever it might be ultimately, Brock Hoffman, Cooper Beebe. I do believe long-term it'll be Cooper Beebe.
Yes.
Will that be an instant transition? As far as instant upgrade, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, especially because to Brock Hoffman's...
Well, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. And to Brock Hoffman's credit, he has the demeanor. Right, he absolutely has the demeanor.
He has the demeanor to be good. I don't know if he has the demeanor to be better than Biadasz. Okay, that's two different things.
Which version of Biadasz? The step back last year or the Pro Bowl? Because we're talking two different versions of Biadasz here.
I don't know because he didn't beat him out last year. And so I don't know that. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's never been given that opportunity.
Yeah, agreed.
And was not drafted for that opportunity.
Agreed.
The fact what he's doing is already a bonus for his career. No one expected this out of him. So let's not
instant. Yeah, let's not coordinate him right now. Is what you're saying.
And I'm glad you brought Connor Williams up because it's funny because if the Cowboys would have had the foresight and moved Connor to center earlier.
Sounds like a discussion for another show when Clarence Hill is the special guest.
Absolutely. All right, boys. We got to take our first break. When we come back, we got to talk about Trey Lance. We got to talk about Trey Lance's performance and some more game breakers from the game last night or yesterday. We'll be right back after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts nearby, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Welcome back to Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee, the official coffee sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This portion of Talkin Cowboys is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, bring out the good.
It's the pause.
It's the pause. It's the pregnant pause.
Every single time.
Did you get your oats in, Clarence?
Yeah, I don't eat healthy like that.
You're supposed to be like, yeah, I got the oats.
Clarence ate ribs for breakfast.
Oats, absolutely.
Clarence ate ribs for breakfast.
Bring out the good.
I don't really eat breakfast. I should, but I don't eat breakfast.
Clarence is trying to bring out the bad.
I don't miss a meal. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to touch that one.
All right. We got to talk. We got to talk about Trey Lance's first outing as a Cowboys quarterback. What stood out to you? And do you see the future of the Dallas Cowboys quarterback?
What I saw from Trey Lance is
a loaded question.
Discomfort. But
he learned a lot.
I saw a lack of trust in what he was seeing out there. There were several occasions where, and I'll point out two particularly, fourth down, you're in the shadow of the end zone. And I believe it was a great play call because you had Jalen Cropper. He basically put his defender in a vapor trail on the crosser. If that ball comes out.
Crop dust, if you will?
No. We're not doing the crop dust thing. If that ball comes out immediately, that's a touchdown for Trey Lance and Jalen Cropper. On another play, deep right to Cam Johnson, that ball sailed. And on both of those passes, the ball sailed, but those were the only 2 times the ball did that. I think with Trey Lance, he needs to process a bit faster. And if he does that, in addition to trusting himself, yeah, he's going to make mistakes, but I think he's so afraid of making mistakes that he's leaving plays on the field. So that's my biggest takeaway. I'm interested to see how he progresses to game 2. I do love the fact that he was accountable after the game, and he showed maturity. He stood in front of that train, and he basically said, I got to make the throws. I got to make the throws. So although he's a young guy, the maturity is there, the IQ is there. You just have to trust yourself, because if you don't, you'll never make the throw that you're supposed to make in those small windows, because as Clarence can attest, when it comes to NFL coverage windows, the receiver isn't really open. You have to throw that guy open. So when they are open, you got to make sure you make those throws.
Yeah, I like Trey.
Yeah.
Great kid, great attitude. You know, I saw, you know, and I respect him owning his play. You know, but that's what he is, you know, and you know, it's funny because you set it up, which I cringed at, and that's all everybody talking about. Is he the future of the Cowboys? Why are we asking that question?
That's not the question.
Why are we asking that question?
That's not the question.
Why is that on the
because
table?
fans are asking that
I know,
question.
That's not the question, though.
I'm sorry, fans.
That's not the question.
But it also has
not you, listener.
Yeah,
you're smart for tuning in.
It has a lot to do with the hate on Dak or whatever else. I mean, come on, stop.
The question is, can he beat Cooper Rush?
He was never an option to be the future quarterback of the Cowboys. You know, but because he is undone by his draft status.
Right.
You know, the 49ers overdrafted him. And so everybody's former first-round pick, third overall pick, he must have he's a potential replacement for Dak Prescott. That was never on the table. And like I was trying to tell people, when Patrick Mahomes was a rookie, all here was buzz out of practice. Ooh, yeah, Alex Smith's good, but this dude here, he's killing him in practice. We heard nothing all year last year about what Trey Lance was doing in practice.
No, still in development last year,
He
right?
works hard, but you heard nothing. There was nothing next level about his game or anything like that. Again, great kid. But it's going to be hard for him to overcome what he doesn't have. And that's a lack of experience. That's a lack of snaps. That's a lack of reps. That's going back to high school. He only started 1 year at high school, and he really wasn't a quarterback growing up. He don't have all the 7-on-7 reps. He played roughly 17 games in college, you know.
Yeah.
4 starts, and you look at some of the quarterbacks that come out and look at all the reps and all the snaps and all the defenses they've seen, and then when he played in college, they made through about 7 times a game. You know, there's a lot. He has a decent athlete, decent arm. There's nothing next level about either one of those things. Again, the 49ers overdrafted him, so everybody's, Trey Lance. But there's a lot for him to overcome.
Right.
And so what you saw when he misses high. You know, that thing to Cropper, you don't have to make a perfect throw. Throw the ball inbounds. Cropper can jump up, get the ball, or get a pass interference. That's how bad the defense back was beaten.
And I will also say, to kind of piggyback off of the back end of what Clarence is saying, which ties right back into my processing, got to process quickly. On a couple of those sacks that he took, you have to get rid of that ball.
Yeah.
You can't take a sack in those situations.
But he hasn't seen it. He hasn't been
right,
out there.
which goes to.
And so I don't know what he can do in the preseason. 3 preseason games against backups.
It's gonna have to be enough.
Can ever say if Dak Prescott gets hurt, I'm putting him instead of Cooper Rush. That's not even on. That's not on the table. Let's be realistic. No. That's not on the table. Can he develop? Can he show something? Maybe compete for the backup job next year. That's what you're hoping for. But anybody thinks that he can realistically, that if gun to my head, Dak Prescott get hurt, he can do nothing against backups in limited schemes in 3 preseason games to tell me I'm putting them on the field instead of Cooper Rush, who's 5-1 as a starter, who's won real games.
That's the real argument here, and I think
it's not an argument right now.
Those are the facts, actually. Yeah.
Look at, we talk about who performed well in limited snaps. Cooper Rush, he starts the game and immediately deep left ball to Jalen Brooks. Right on the money, dropped it right in the bucket, and then backed out and was like, did my job.
Yes,
there you go, Trey.
And it's funny because I think that was sinister about McCarthy and Cooper Rush. I know everybody thinking about Trey Lance. We're going to show you something real quick.
Go route.
We're going to show you what a real backup looks like real quick. We're going to sit you down. This guy can make the throws and get it done. And so, look, we're everybody rooting. Trey Lance is a great kid. And hopefully he can continue to develop and mature and make somebody's career. I wish he could play at a UFL. I wish he could go and just play football and get those reps. You look at all the quarterbacks that come out in the draft, the kid from Washington, you know how many snaps they've had, how many times they've seen it and seen it and seen it. He has not seen it.
Yeah, not 17 college games.
No, but not even the games. Look at his pass attempts. He got like 400. I mean, he don't have a lot of pass. He got like 400 pass attempts. Mm-hmm. That's a couple of good games.
Right.
I
think with him yesterday, it was more like it kind of felt like he was looking at the bigger picture, the grander scheme. He was trying his best not to make mistakes, and he didn't make a lot of mistakes aside from taking all those sacks. He didn't throw 4 interceptions, but he also didn't win the game.
I mean, you get 4 interceptions and you don't win the game because you don't get your team in the end zone.
Yeah,
I mean, he pointed that out. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. You know how hard it is to lose a game when you're +4 in turnover. I don't care if it's preseason. Okay, and several of those turnovers in plus territory, and you can't get nothing.
When one in particular, one of those turnovers. This was after Brock Mogerson got his interception. The Cowboys had 5 plays for negative 11 yards.
Right.
Negative 11 yards. That cannot happen. So again,
when you're in the red zone.
When you're in the red zone, no less. So again, great human being Trey Lance is. He's a great young man, and he has a high football IQ, and I can't stress enough, I love how he takes accountability. I'm huge on that with everyone, and he's not running from the criticism. He's putting it on himself as well. Interested to see how he improves, but it's also true that improvement has to take place, and there's not a lot of time for it to take place. But also for the fans, keep this in the right framing, like Clarence and Josh and myself that we're saying. Keep it in the right framing. Even if Trey Lance improves greatly over the remaining 2 preseason games, he's not in a battle with Dak Prescott. He's in a battle with Cooper Rush, and right now Cooper Rush is winning.
Absolutely. All right, let's pivot really quickly to defense. We had not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. 4? We had.
First of all, let's be honest. Should have had 5.
Should have had 5. Should have 5.
6.
Should have had 6.
One got called back, and I know my boy's kicking himself over the first interception he should have had. He dropped in his zone.
Yes.
Marquise.
Yeah.
Marquise Bell.
It could have easily been 6 interceptions, I say, because
by that Georgia Bulldog.
Hey, it happens. He doesn't play for Georgia anymore. So welcome to the NFL, Stetson Bennett. Welcome to Mike Zimmer's defense, Stetson Bennett. So, but yeah, it could have been. Well, first, let's take it a step back. We talked to Marquise Bell after the game, and he said that the defense had a goal of 3 interceptions yesterday, and they walked away with 4. And they could have walked away with 6 because Marquise had an opportunity for 2, possibly 3 himself. I'll say 2 because the third one fell just short and skipped right in front of him. But then you had 2 interceptions from linebackers. You had Eric Scott getting in on the interception party as well. For all of the talk of, what does Mike Zimmer's scheme look like and how does that translate to takeaways, and are we going to see the Cowboys defense turn down in takeaways to be able to turn up on things like run defense? Well, first showing, and this is just preseason, so qualify it the right way.
It's a third string.
Right, the third strings. First showing, though, looks like they still know how to take the ball away. So that's promising.
So, ball guys catch the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do, and that's one thing that certainly that Dan Quinn brought here. And, like I said, the good news is the interception did not go to Washington. Turnovers did not go to Washington with Dan Quinn. They're still here, and ball guys will make plays. I was really happy for Marquise Bell, guy who played out of position last year, undersized, linebacker, and there was so much scrutiny about the linebackers. He's back to his natural position of safety. He showed up. He showed out. He was a big part of.
But he was thumping too.
Yeah, he's a big part of the defense. That's what he does. That's who he is.
He was all over the field.
That would, to me, was indicative of the playing out of position last year and how he learned from that to take that into the safety position that he has now, or going back to now. He was all over the field. He was making every single play.
He had not a team high, but a game high 9 tackles in addition to his 1 interception, nearly 2 interceptions, could argue possibly 3. But he was all over the field. He was thumping as well, and that's an excellent point you bring up, Josh. He's using what he learned as linebacker, and he's putting that into play back in the role of safety. But at the same time, Zimmer is using that as well, because you'll see times, and there wasn't much disguising. That's what's crazy about it, because the Cowboys walked away with 4 interceptions, and they weren't disguising nearly as much as we've seen them disguise out here in practice, or as much as you're going to see them disguise when the games start counting in Cleveland. And they were still able to do that. A large reason was when Mike Zimmer did use Marquise Bell in disguise, he'd feign him as a linebacker. And if you're an opposing offensive coordinator, and you're watching film on Bell last year, you saw how many reps he took at linebacker, so you have to respect that. Yep. And then respecting that confuses the quarterback when Bell drops back, if he drops out. And that helped Stetson Bennett remain discombobulated for most of the game. So Marquise Bell,
that's a word for it.
Right. Marquise Bell discombobulated.
I like
Marquise Bell, phenomenal game yesterday, and he's building upon what we saw last year. He looks far more comfortable at safety, and that's going to make him very dangerous.
Now, is this Mike Zimmer's defense in full effect? I mean, well, Grant, you just answered that. He's not disguising as much as he is out here.
Vanilla ice cream.
So if this is vanilla ice cream, are we feeling more confident now than we did at the start of the season when we hired Mike Zimmer?
I mean, we have to see it in real games. I mean, you like
Beamer's
Zimmer.
going to say you got talking to the mic.
We got to see it in real games. I mean,
I got you, Beamer.
We got to see that. I mean, you like Mike Zimmer as a coach. You like his history.
Absolutely.
Certainly, you like the fact that the guys have taken into his system. You know, but until we see it in live action, until we see Cleveland, until they stop the run against Cleveland, which will be, job one in that season opener, let's hold off on make any, that this is going to be better. They hope it's going to be better. They, obviously everybody has as Mike Tyson said, everybody got a game plan to get hit in the face.
Absolutely.
So they got a game plan. They know what they want to do. Can they get it done? Will they get it done?
Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to Zimmer, you're giving him a lot of credit, rightfully so, because of pedigree. Right. And you're giving him a lot of credit because of IQ. And to the point of DeMarvion Overshown saying yesterday after the game that there were many times where Zimmer wasn't even looking at his play call sheet. He was just calling the plays in real time without looking at his sheet. I mean, that's genius level stuff. But what we need to see is how it comes together. But also that goes to personnel as well. He's not going to have the benefit of having the depth that Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler presented. And guess what? He doesn't have Sam Williams either. How quickly will Marshawn Nealon come up to bat? How quickly what will Viliami Fehoko look like in year 2?
You're counting on a lot of unproven personnel
so
to make his defense.
Therein lies the question.
No matter how good the defense is.
Therein lies the question marks. It's not Mike Zimmer. It's the personnel and how he can get these young guys playing.
And that's been a criticism from day one. From going back to the offseason, they didn't add anybody to replace the guys they lost. And, they're hoping, praying, believing in second-year jumps and guys coming back. And listen, and I know, Overshawn is on the call sheet, and we're going to talk about him. I believe in Overshawn. I believe that he's going to have that, come out.
I bet you do.
Yeah, of course I do.
I bet you do.
But I believe in him because of what
he's
seen.
But you should, though.
But what you see is
I'm just joking. I'm huge on Overshawn.
I believe what he's seen and what he's done. And so you believe in that. But until you get in the game, and he hasn't, seen all the stuff they're going to put at him and all the other stuff. So, it's still a wait and see.
Yeah.
Because, again, there's a lot of, like Mozzie Smith, there's, the defensive tackle, what he's done is going to be big as far as the scheme. But it's not just Mozzie. Who's behind him? I mean, there's not a lot of depth on this defense line. A lot of proven depth. There's bodies.
It's skinny.
There's not a lot of proven depth. And we already talked about the loss of, Sam Williams and stuff like that. And so there are questions about the personnel as much as there are about the scheme.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think, at least with DeMarvion Overshown, I think more people are, because of the flashes that you saw last preseason, people are more excited to see him on the field this year. Whereas Mozzie Smith, you saw him a lot last year. He was healthy. That jump needs to happen quick. And like you guys are saying, behind him, who is there?
But here's, in speaking to DeMarvion Overshown really quickly, one of the things I believed and hoped for DeMarvion Overshown is the phrase I use as far as him coming off of the torn ACL is he doesn't know what he doesn't know, right? So whereas typically you will see guys need grace when it comes to recovering from a torn ACL, how quickly will they get back, or how long will it take for them to get back to form? All of the conversations I've had with Overshown over the course of this offseason, it's almost like it never happened, with the exception of him using it for, positive gains with lean muscle and things like that. Go back and look at the first couple of reps for him. against the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. Look at how he was able to stop the run, and look how he's flying around. He's playing like it never happened. So I think the benefit of his youth and him having never suffered an injury like that, and I know it could go the other way because he had never suffered an injury like that. He could come back and, oh, well, what if, and is my knee going to hold it? He's flown to the opposite side of the spectrum. He's like, man, listen, it happened. God's plan. I'm back. Let's play ball, and it's showing.
And the thing about Overshown is he's just like a kid out there. He's just so happy to be out there, so exuberant, so excitable. It's infectious. And you talk about one thing about the ACL. He's had a full year to recover.
Yeah,
he was hurt in August.
That's true.
He had a full year to recover, and so he's running out there running. The Cowboys are held on a pitch count. They're being cautious with him. But when he's out there, he's running to the ball, and you see him flashing some of that ability that he showed last year. But he had the quarter of the night last night. I'm trying to find it here.
Fly swatter. Fly swatter.
He had the quarter of the night, and he talked about how he's so competitive. I think somebody did an interview with him, and he said that last year he watched game with his helmet on.
He did.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he's so competitive. But he talked about.
I mean, clearly, it looks like he fell asleep in the equipment room.
Yeah, but he talked.
He has so many wristbands and armbands. But he got bored in there.
Yeah, but he talked about his intensity and what he did during games, and he said that, because he wanted to be out there, you got to find the little wins. There were times I go in my garage with a fly swatter and hits flies all day. Just to feel something, just to work on reaction time. I'm from the country,
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm not going to say we had flies.
You
had me to say that.
You had flies.
There were flies that came in and out. We didn't have air conditioning back then, okay? From the 70s of the country. And you whether it was at football press or whatever else, you tried to catch a fly and see how quick you were.
Okay, Miyagi.
You tried to put your hand, that's something you do. We didn't have Nintendo, okay? We didn't have video games. You had to find things to keep you, So you try to see if you can catch a fly real quick. And, but it's, so I can relate to that. But yeah, him talking about he used to try to catch flies, to see the reaction, because it's true.
No, it's true.
And it shows you how quick you are.
And he's
like
proving it
running
on
down
the field.
Chickens. Running down rabbits, the more fast guys used to run them rabbits,
We used to run down squirrels.
Yeah, all of that. That shows just.
I mean, he's got a farm, so I'm sure he was doing a lot of that.
No, quite literally, being from country spot myself, we used to chase squirrels, and that was an agility test.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh wow.
Right. If you can corner with a squirrel, then you're going to make the varsity team. So, Demo, we feel you. You just got to do what you got to do.
All right, boys, let's take our final break. When we come back, we have a lot more about the game. More from Talkin Cowboys right after this break.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Welcome back to Talkin Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Boys, you like that one? All right, boys. We need to talk about Dak's health. He was not at our last practice that we had. What was that? It was just a mock game.
No, he wasn't at Friday. He did the mock game. He did the
due to ankle soreness.
He did the joint practice on Thursday. Then Friday morning he didn't practice. Which all bells went off. Why he didn't practice? Certainly, he didn't do the mock game on Saturday either. But he didn't need to do that because he wasn't playing on Sunday. But
he was at the game yesterday, not in a boot.
Looking
good,
motivating the players before the game, and
hyped up.
And he said he'll be at practice on Tuesday.
The bottom line is he said he's fine. It was precautionary. He had some soreness, and let's just peel him back the curtain.
He's going to deal with that.
He's always going to have to deal with soreness and stuff with that ankle.
Of course.
If you remember that tragic injury, and everything they put into that's part of the life he's going to be living with. I told my sister. She fractured her ankle last year. I said, you have to continue to rehab that ankle. It's never going to be enough because it's going to bother you. You got metal plates, all this stuff putting your ankle out. It's always going to be there, and it's something that Dak is going to have to deal with. And certainly he's dealt with. He's not missed a game with the ankle, not missed one game since he's been back with the ankle, but it's something he has to deal with. He said he will be ready to go on Tuesday and going full and ready to practice on Tuesday. So until it's an issue, it's not an issue.
Now, he's fine, and like Clarence said, he's going to deal with it the rest of his life because of how devastating that injury was. And anyone who suffered a major injury knows it's going to hurt when it rains. That's how the saying goes. So, you're going to have to keep dealing with and managing that over the course of the rest of his life. But is it in a position where it's going to cost him availability? No, it is not.
And unlike this summer when he had the boot on, the guys were about to go crazy.
And then the boot disappeared. It's going to hurt when it rains.
There was no boot. He's not in a boot.
Yeah, no, not at all. So we see him going to practice all week, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. Until that's what Mike McCarthy told us after the game. That's what Dak told us in the locker room after the game. So he says he's going to practice full on Tuesday.
It might even be a point, I should say, at this during this season where you might just have to start giving Dak like that veteran day, because Dak doesn't get that veteran day like a Zach Martin or like a DeMarcus Lawrence. But given that he's managing this, I could see them starting to institute a veteran day for him just to make sure that he's managing that random soreness that pops up in that ankle, because it's something that he's going to have to deal with.
Another note yesterday, Jerry Jones spoke with our crew just before the game, during the pregame. Shouts to everybody who did our pregame, DallasCowboys.com.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones cleared up the CeeDee narrative. His quote was, I think I got in trouble the other day when I said, look, we're not urgent about CeeDee. Well, no one appreciates CeeDee being on the field more than I do. I completely understand the angst that's happening whether you're missed or not. Well, CeeDee, you are missed.
Oh, you want my take on this?
Absolutely.
Okay, my take on it is Jerry realized
that he may have been taken out of context a little bit.
He realized what's at stake here, and that and normally, and it was actually abnormal for Jerry to walk that back, because like we were joking offline before the mic and the camera went back hot, Zeke who? Like this is the same owner and general manager who threw out the Zeke who line, and obviously the Brinks truck got backed up to Ezekiel Elliott's residence not long thereafter. But Jerry didn't walk that back, but he's walking this back. So it was interesting to see that. But the bottom line is, if you look at the full quote, then you get the full picture of what Jerry said initially about CeeDee Lamb, but then also you need to attach that to what Stephen Jones said and was saying at the same time that Jerry was on the field talking. Stephen Jones said, and I quote, zero thoughts of CeeDee Lamb not being a Dallas Cowboy. Of course he invoked the franchise wording and everything. 100% true, because facts are facts. Franchise tag is possible. But as it stands, contract talks continue. They're still positive, and the fact that Jerry reframed what he said without doing that prior to any of the other any of the other big names that he was working to deal with, that tells you just how badly they want to get this CeeDee Lamb deal done.
Let me just say one thing.
You want to say more than just one thing.
If it gets to the franchise tag, it's worldwide.
Right, it's not getting there.
Okay, don't bring the franchise tag. I mean, we can get the deal done this year. And no, if you get to the franchise tag, it will be World War V.
It's not getting there.
But peeling back further on the curtains, I talked to Jerry last Monday. He told me the same thing. We don't need CeeDee out here. Don't say that. He said, don't write that. And I didn't write it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only saying it now publicly because of the firestorm. He said, don't write that.
And for those that don't know, he actually did tell me this a few days ago.
He said because it's a sensitive situation, and don't write that. And so it's when he said that publicly, I'm like, dude, you understood. Because the reason he walked it back is because CeeDee was offended. He got hurt. You know, and like I try to tell people, that's why I don't get caught up into it, because I'm a veteran. I've seen a million of these things. Jerry's done thousands of contract negotiations. For the players, it's their first one. You know, as Zeke so eloquently said, you know, a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about the situation. For your first 4 years of your career, they loving you. Now this is the first time you're on opposite sides of the table with the team. You know, and you're hearing some things that you have not heard before. And so it's personal. And so while Jerry was joking, and he was clearly joking.
Yeah.
You know, because he followed it up with, we asked him, why did you say it? I don't know why.
Because I was at high school or college.
I don't know why I just said it.
I was at Nobu last night.
Yeah, I just said it. I don't know. He just said it. And Jerry said a number of times on and off the record that one benefit, they want CeeDee here. They want CeeDee.
Of course. Who doesn't?
Obviously, it takes two to tango. They haven't got come to terms. But he said one benefit of him not being here is that he's not going to get hurt. You see Hollywood Brown got hurt in the preseason game. Neighbors got hurt in practice. He's not going to get hurt. And we also get the development of those younger guys. So he pointed, and that's part of what he was talking about. The question was asked, and it has to do with the framing of the question. The question was, is there any urgency to getting CeeDee signed or CeeDee not being here as we start the preseason? Well, the preseason has never been a monumental issue for Jerry and the Cowboys as far as CeeDee Lamb, because he was never playing the games.
Yes.
So when you frame it, urgency as we start the preseason, no, it's not urgency. The preseason ain't got nothing to do with the conversation. They got to do with the negotiations.
Yeah.
But it takes a life of his own when it's just left out there, and then CeeDee hears it, and he's offended, and he's now taking all the Cowboys off his social media. So Jerry, he did the right thing. Let me listen, CeeDee. In case you don't understand, in case you don't know, I love you. We want you here. We just got to get the deal done.
Bottom line is, for players, negotiations are very personal.
Yes.
For organizations, negotiations are absolutely not personal at all. And there's always going to be that disconnect. And this was one of those times where CeeDee Lamb, it hit him right in the chest because it's personal. And he wants to be out here with his guys. And he's sitting there at home and he's like, what's the holdup? And no, he's not talking to his agent every single day because his agent also has other people to represent. And there have been offers exchanged recently. Yeah. But it may not be an every 5-minute offer type thing. So there's CeeDee like, what's going on? And it gets into this space of, well, do they not value me as much as I wish that they did? And then you hear the untimely comment by Jones, and then it's like it triggers. So bottom line is, we're talking to these coaches, we're talking to, ownership, we're talking to these players, Dak Prescott and things like that. And what did Dak say? Dak said, I have the urgency. The players want him here. The coaches want him here. Ownership wants him here. The analysts want him here. It's more fun covering the team when you're here, CeeDee. So handle your business, and I look forward to you getting out here. That will not be a franchise tag situation. CeeDee Lamb gets his deal before the season starts.
All right, boys. We're going to head out. Thank you so much for listening to Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee, the official coffee sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. We will be back on Wednesday with the very same crew. For Patrick Walker, for Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star Telegram, for Christopher Paul Beamer in the background, I'm Josh Rodriguez. We'll see you next time.
It's the Paul for me.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!